From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
Y'all ran these schools. It should have to take this for y'all to actually open up your eyes and realize what is going on.
Parents are upset tonight at what they call a lack of communication from Mexico schools.
That is the fallout after authorities found a loaded gun on Mexico Middle School property earlier this week, but didn't tell parents about it for 2 days.
We've been following this story for this whole week, and here's what we've confirmed so far. Around 8:30 Monday night, the Audrain County Sheriff's Office and the Mexico Public Safety Department found the gun next to a concession stand near the school. School officials announced yesterday that a 13-year-old student brought the gun to the school after hours for an after-school activity. They say he hid the gun behind the stand before going into the building. Now, most parents didn't hear about the incident until yesterday, more than a day after it happened. Now, tonight, parents took their complaints to the officials themselves.
KOMU 8's Maddie Heidenreich was at the meeting and joins us here in the studio with the latest. Maddie.
Jim and Danny, school officials were anticipating a meeting with one concerned parent, but a private meeting turned into a public meeting with close to 30 parents and students that showed up to address their concerns. Parents raised their voices, hoping to find out what took so long for the news they say jeopardized their children's safety. Superintendent Kevin Freeman said if there had been a threat, the school, quote, maybe would have responded differently, but the incident was isolated by the time the school started on Tuesday.
That's a discussion we'll have in the coming weeks when we review our response to the situation and see if we should have done anything differently or not. Truly, we think we acted appropriately. We know our kids were safe, and we know we didn't have any issues.
I understand that they did remove the gun. They did take care of that situation, but who's to say that another kid isn't going to do it? So, I mean, I can see the fear in any of the kids or any of the other parents.
School officials present at tonight's informal meeting told parents they can schedule individual meetings to talk about their concerns. Officials are considering another group meeting in the future. More than 16 units responded to a fire at a duplex located in North Columbia this morning. The renter said the last thing he did before he went to sleep was plug in a space heater, and he added that his landlord allegedly turned off the water at the duplex about a week ago. He said he might have been able to put out the fire if his landlord had not turned off the water. 5 years ago yesterday, the tenant said he lost 2 of his children in a fire in northern Missouri.
The Wall Street Journal reports this week the SEC is investigating Big Lots CEO and Columbia College trustee Steve Fishman. KOMU 8's Maddie Heidenreich is here in the studio to tell us more about this investigation.
Jim, Fishman reportedly sold $10 million in stocks just before a quarterly report drove down the company's share prices. On Tuesday, Big Lots announced that Fishman intended to retire from his position, although it won't say that the decision is based on the investigation. The Columbia College graduate has contributed to the school by donating $500,000 for a new entrepreneurship program designed for Columbia College students. I went to the college today to get more information, and representatives could only provide this statement. To comment without knowledge of the facts would be imprudent. The college will follow developments as they unfold. Investigation is still in the early stages and no charges have been made. Here are your morning headlines. Reader's Theater returns to the Missouri River Regional Library this weekend. Local actors will perform parts of the double feature holiday production based on episodes of Archie and the Father Knows Best radio shows. The Zuzak Wonder Store in Boonville is hosting a celebration for a local author and woodcarver, Fred Early. Early is celebrating his 90th birthday. Early carved more than 100 life-size cardinals as gifts for volunteers that help make mid-Missouri honor flights possible. And Greenhouse Theater Project will be performing the Nutcracker for the next 2 weekends in Columbia. The classic Christmas story is based on the E.T.A. Hoffman original with a mix of swinging 60s music.
The Marys County Sheriff's Department is investigating a major animal abuse case.
Deputies seized 40 animals along with some remains from a farm along Highway 63 in Vienna. KOMU 8's Maddie Heidenreich is in the studio to tell us what she found at the farm. Maddie?
When I arrived at the farm, officials had already transported the 40 malnourished animals to the Missouri Humane Society in Union. The animals include horses, cows, goats, and dogs. These pictures show ribs bulging from some of them. Investigators are not releasing the owner's name, but say he may be facing several counts of animal neglect and improper disposal of animal remains. There are more than 60 other animals still left on the farm.
We're going to try to make daily checks out there and make sure that the animals are fed and watered. Make sure no more animals are being abused. I know the owners' family members are also in contact now. They're going to also try to help the gentleman try to take better care of his animals.
The owner is scheduled to appear in court next Tuesday. MU Chancellor Brady Deaton and others will host what they're calling a historic announcement. MU, the School of Journalism, and the Reynolds Journalism Institute will all be represented as well. The announcement will be made at 10:30 this morning at the Reynolds Journalism Institute on the MU campus.
On average, an American woman spends $50,000 on her hair in her lifetime.
KOMU 8's Maddie Heidenreich explains how one local woman realized it's not always money well spent.
In 2009, Penny Brown walked into this hair salon to get her head shaved. She'd been diagnosed
with a very small but aggressive breast cancer.
Aggressive disease, aggressive treatment, aggressive hair loss.
When I began to see that I was getting an awful lot of hair in the drain of the shower, I called my beauty shop person and he shaved my head for me so that I wouldn't have to mess with it.
A woman gets used to her hair, obviously. It's her crowning glory. And it's tough to do that. It's tough to shave a head when you know somebody and have known them that long.
For some women, that first glance in the mirror can be a very moving experience. That's why here at the American Cancer Society, women can try on wigs like this one to help cope with the process.
Because more often than not, when a woman comes here, she just wants to find something that matches what she has. She doesn't want anybody knowing that something's going on with her. It's a very private, tumultuous fight.
But Penny didn't want to match her old style. She wanted to do something different.
It was short and kind of spiky and pretty, just kind of an energetic looking thing.
Penny found comfort in her support group.
I had an advantage because 2 other friends of mine were also doing it, and at one point all 3 of us were sitting around in our new wigs having lunch together.
But lunch with the girls all in their new wigs is not the end of the story.
Once you've had it, they make sure that you get your mammograms, and you are very interested in getting your mammograms. So the second time when they said the other breast was now involved, I thought, wait a minute, you're kidding. And they weren't.
She had surgery and will soon begin radiation and chemotherapy with a new drug.
It's very well for that, and it's not that toxic. And if it happens to not make all their hair fall, well, that's a wonderful bonus.
Penny says losing her hair again would be annoying, but since it grows back, the loss isn't a tragedy. Maddie Heidenreich, KOMU 8 News, Columbia. Thanks for joining us. The Today Show will be right back.